welcome to Saunders Sisterhood. I'm Carrie. This is a YouTube channel for the single and childless, not by choice person. I'm here with Gavin. We are going to talk about 5 things that I stopped caring about most of the time as a single and childless, not by choice person. Number 1, for the most part, I've stopped caring about what I think others are thinking about me because I'm childless and single and in my mid-40s. For a long time, I very much thought, oh my God, what must people think about me? Nobody is single and childless at this age when they don't want to be. What do people think? And I think part of this is because of all of the cultural junk that gets thrown at us. You know, when we think about single and childless in the mid-40s, we think about that depressing aunt, we think about the word spinster, we think selfish, we think bitter, we think angry old lady, the cat lady, childless cat lady, hello. You know, all of these things that have been around for a really long time to kind of scare women out of being single and not having kids. As some of these words have been resurfacing in the media by people in positions of power, not just in these really old books that we all used to read or had to read, I started to realize I don't really give a shit what people are thinking about me. Part of that is, while there's definitely a segment of the population that do continue to spread that stuff in order to spread a certain agenda, there's also a lot of people that don't think that. You know, all the backlash when the childless cat lady stuff came out, I think is an example of that. The fact that we even had to have backlash is crazy, but it really highlighted for me that I actually don't care about what these people think anymore. And for a really long time, I did. I thought, what must men think of me? When I'm in the dating pool, what must a man think that I don't have children already? Would they even want to date me? Would they question how I might be around their kids? I mean, just so much stuff would flood my brain around this. None of it based in, I think, any reality and definitely none of it based in any actual interactions that I had with people, but it's just seeped into the culture and has been in the culture for so long that it finds its way inside your brain in ways that you don't even realize. So I stopped caring about the way I think or the way I thought other people were thinking about me. That's a huge burden off too, by the way. The next thing I stopped caring about is wondering what's wrong with me, because there's nothing wrong with me. Are there things that, looking back, I think I did that created an environment or created a scenario in which this was more likely going to happen to me? Yes. Some of that is I didn't work on some things that I should have worked on earlier. But the other flip side of that is I also didn't just think, well, this is good enough, or time is running out, so I need to have a kid quickly, so who's ever next is going to be that. I didn't look away or turn a blind eye to things that in the long term would have been more of a problem in a relationship. So there's pluses and minuses to that. And all in all, I know nothing is wrong with me. There's lots and lots of women and men who don't have kids and who are single. It's just not something that's brought forward into the society, in media, in representation, but that doesn't mean a lot of us don't exist. And once you start integrating into the childless, not by choice community, you start to realize that. And it starts to feel a little less scary and a little less like, oh, something is wrong with me. No, because these cool people that I'm hanging out with, they're awesome. So maybe I'm awesome too. This is just something that happened. Gabby's like leaning up against my back. Oh, say hi, Gabby. I love it when he leans back up against me. It's like having this weighted blanket, and it's just awesome. He's such a good cuddler. The third thing I stopped caring about is, well, that's what having a Great Dane is like. So the third thing I stopped caring about is really perseverating about why this happened and how it was my fault. Because ultimately it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It just is. It's a series of circumstances that built on top of each other that created a scenario in which I am single, which isn't a bad thing, and I'm childless, not by choice. And while there's a lot of grief in that, and it's devastating in a lot of ways, it isn't something that's ruined my life. If you would have asked me that 5 years ago, I would have said, yeah, it's absolutely ruined my life. And as I've started to work through the grief, as I've started to get into acceptance, as I've started to talk about it more, as I've started to open up to the possibility that there is this other life out there that can be meaningful, fulfilling, and fun, it's helped me recognize this isn't like a fault thing. This is just a reality thing. The fourth thing I've stopped caring about as somebody who is single and childless, not by choice, is the what ifs about the future that I actually may be able to impact the outcome of. Really spending a ton of time thinking about, what if I die alone? What if no one's around to support me and encourage me? What if I don't find anyone to live my life with? What if? I can't spend my time in those scenarios anymore. I don't know what the future holds. I also know that there's lots of people who have kids that have to face these circumstances. And I try and remind myself that because I'm not under the delusion that kids is going to be an automatic support person in my old age, I have the ability to impact the outcome. I have the ability to set things up in a way where I can keep myself healthier for longer within what I can control. I can think about other options or scenarios in terms of community living as I get older. I can kind of prepare for having maybe a more unconventional or different way of aging versus finding myself in old age and then being blindsided because I had all of these expectations that were fed by society that didn't come to fruition. So I'm done spending time on the what ifs. Now, it doesn't mean they don't creep in occasionally, and it also doesn't mean I didn't spend a lot of time there in the past. But ultimately, I'm about what can I control today. My work as a therapist, for example, I'm well aware that we have a lot of expectations around family, around aging, that they don't come true for lots of people. I also think a lot of people don't think about these things. And the fact that I am single and I am childless, it reminds me that, I got to start thinking about this. And then I can plan for it. So I'm done. I'm done with the what ifs. Want to know what else I'm done with? I'm done with the political rhetoric around being a woman and being childless. I'm not saying this in terms of making a hardline political statement. That's not what this channel is. But I'm done caring about what a bunch of billionaire men are saying about women who are childless. I'm done with that. Their opinion doesn't matter to me. They're not coming from a place of, what's in the best interest of a human being, what's in the best interest of a woman, what things lead to happiness in terms of a healthy, happy society. No, they're thinking about workforce and they're thinking about their own pocketbooks potentially. I'm not saying people can't be happy in the structure of being a mom, being a father, being a husband, being a wife. It's just not the only path to happiness and success. And if you're not those things, it doesn't automatically mean you're the total opposite of that. It doesn't automatically mean you're angry, selfish, bitter all the time. It doesn't mean that. It just means that your life structure looks differently. And so I'm done paying attention to the name calling and the opinions of people who aren't in my life. So tell me what you've stopped caring about as somebody who is single and or childless, not by choice, in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And don't forget, we have a book club coming up. It's our second book club. It's coming up March 15th. We're reading the book The Next Happy by Tracy Clintus. And on March 15th at noon Eastern time, I'll be going live and we will be discussing this book. I would love to see you there. All right, so subscribe to Sonder Sisterhood for more videos for the single and childless, not by choice person.